Muppets are back and being terrorized by an evil oil executive in their new movie. Liberal Hollywood depicting a successful businessman as evil. That's not new. Joining me now, Dan Gaynor from the Media Research Center. Dan, let's point this out. This oil Muppet, evil man that he is called Tex Richman. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it's amazing how far the left will go just to stoop to manipulate your kids to convince them, give the anti-corporate message. I mean, this is a Muppet movie, for goodness sakes. The only thing green that should be up on that screen should be Kermit the Frog.
And so what's actually going on here? I mean, I'll put it out there. Is liberal Hollywood using class warfare to kind of brainwash our kids?
Yeah, absolutely. And they've been doing it for decades. I mean, Hollywood, the left, the media, they hate the oil industry. They hate corporate America. And so you'll see all these movies attacking it, whether it's Cars 2, which was another kids' movie, the George Clooney movie, Syriana, There Will Be Blood, all these movies attacking the oil industry, none of them reminding people that what oil means for most people, which is fuel to light a hospital or heat your home or maybe fuel an ambulance and get you to the hospital if you need that. They don't want to tell that story.
Dan, is there any Occupy Wall Street Muppets?
There should be. I mean, this is what they're teaching our kids. You wonder why we've got a bunch of Occupy Wall Street people walking around all around the country. They've been indoctrinated literally for years by this kind of stuff, whether it was Captain Planet or Nickelodeon's Big Green Help or The Day After Tomorrow, the Al Gore influenced movie. All of that is what they're teaching, is that corporations are bad, oil industry is bad. Ultimately, what they're telling our kids is what they told you in the movie The Matrix.
Right.
That mankind is a virus on poor old Mother Earth.
All right, Dan, I'm sorry, we ran out of time. I'd love to bring the story up again. But I remember when I was a little kid, we were poor. We were dead broke, in fact, and my parents would see someone wealthy driving by and be like, see that guy? He started a business. He worked hard. You can be like that someday. Not pointing the finger at Tex Richman and saying he's a bad guy. Dan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks very much, Eric.
All right, Carolyn Heldman is back along with one of my fantastic co-hosts on The Five, Andrea Tantaros. By the way, Andrea, the only good number on Sesame Street is clearly 5.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Well, it is. It's brainwashing in the most obvious form, right? I just wish liberals could leave little kids alone. Why does there have to be some kind of political message? I thought Sesame Street was supposed to be sharing and being nice to people, but over the years they've gotten more liberal. I mean, just a couple months ago, we talked about this on The Five. Remember they had the hungry Muppet, the starving Muppet? Well, you look out there, we've got Medicaid, there's a record number of people on food stamps, we have S-CHIP, we have WIC. There's all these programs out there to take care of hungry kids. Why would that Muppet be starving?
Yeah, Dr. Heldman, maybe they should have the hungry Muppets, the food stamp Muppets, and have the evil person being the Obama administration or Obama. After all, under Obama, food stamp usage has gone up 40%.
Well, Eric, I'm going to say it's pretty Orwellian to blame that on President Obama, considering that he's in support of programs to help people who are suffering. And yes, we have seen poverty rates go up despite these programs.
Doc, I said under Obama, the economy has gotten so bad that 40% more people, Americans, have had to use food stamps than prior to Obama.
Right. Right, and I'm bringing up that you seem to be insinuating or blaming President Obama for that when Wall Street and the liquidity crisis caused our economic recession. And I think it's a shame, you call it brainwashing, but I call this education. It's a shame they couldn't have put up, a financial services sector tycoon who caused this problem in the first place. But I guess, you'll settle for oil tycoons who are experiencing historic profits and killed 11 people with Deepwater Horizon.
Hold on, why do the kids have to be exposed to this?
I know, because liberals they don't care. They want to get them at the youngest age. Remember, we've heard this before. You've got to indoctrinate the children at a young age. How about if you want to make it fair, Professor? If you want to make it fair, why not have a Barney Frank Muppet? Although Barney Frank looks like a Muppet anyway, so that wouldn't even be much of a stretch. Look, I think green energy, great. We should have an all-of-the-above message. That would be fair if they wanted to do that. But whatever happened to be is why, Eric? Tell me. Why being rich is such a bad thing? Why being successful is such a bad thing? Tex Richman, the Muppet's name is, That's the American dream, is to work hard and be successful. That would be a better story to teach our kids. And the reality is, there is, as you know better than anybody, no competitive source on the market besides crude at this point.
All right,
there isn't.
Go ahead, Doc. Not the crude oil combo. I want to know why rich has to be evil. Why is rich bad all of a sudden in today's society? And why are we teaching that to our kids? Is being profitable and successful bad?
It's not the profit and the success, it's the way in which you get there. And when Deepwater Horizon kills 11 people, and you have BP making now historic profits, and you see a sector that is price gouging during an economic recession, I think it is perfectly fine to educate children and say that's pretty villainous.
Why
I would
is
actually
drilling
use that
for
as a tale
oil
as
a
how you
criminal
shouldn't get
thing?
there.
Why is that such a bad thing,
No one's
drilling
claiming
natural
that's criminal.
resources?
No one's claiming that's criminal. What I'm claiming is criminal is when you are in an economic recession and you have to make a decision between paying over $4 at the pump.
But
and
these
feeding
kids
your
aren't
children.
making these
That is
decisions,
criminal.
Professor. These are children.
So
Why
we should
not wait
keep
till
them
they
in the
get
dark?
older and
Hey,
teach them
marketer-
important lessons like working
Andrea-
hard instead of coveting what other people have?
Andrea, marketers have access to children. In fact, McDonald's has about 7 different ways in which children pressure their parents. If marketers have access to our children, why shouldn't we be telling them about the truth of the corporation?
Because in one hand you're talking about a Happy Meal with a toy, and the other hand you're talking about a huge ideological sea change in what we're teaching our kids. Class warfare. We're teaching our kids class warfare. Where are we? Communist China?
The 7 deadly
Aaron,
sins is what we're
when should we
teaching
start
them. What
telling them
about
the truth?
sloth? What about lust? What about all those other things?
Sloth.
It's not just
Sloth.
greed.
That's a character in one of those other movies, isn't
That's
it?
a good
Sloth.
point,
That's
Andrea.
the
That's a great
Occupy Wall
point.
Street.
We have to leave it there, Andrea. Thank you so much. Carolyn's going to stick around. Coming up, why one Santa school